Thank you very much for inviting me here. I've been living now for 8.5 years in Nepal. I'm based in Pokhara, and for the first 5 years I've worked for an international NGO and been one of the IT guys there. And now, with 2.5 years ago, we founded this company, Jankari Tech. A couple of our people from our office are here. Can you stand up? Here. Look, they're all sitting in the first row. What good students. Thank you. So if you want to know anything more about our company, go online or ask us. And we just had chiya, isn't it? So, and we heard today a lot already about people who are doing testing and how, just in the last talk, how difficult manual testing is. Imagine the QA phase of your project would be as good as and as relaxing as this chiya time. That's what I want to talk to you about. How do you make your QA phase? How do you make your manual testing into chiya drinking time? Most people I know find QA phases of a project just before the launch very stressful. Yeah? One clap. Okay, I wonder if you can relate to this comic. Yeah? You keep on testing, you keep on doing, but every time there is new regression. Every time there is something else wrong. And I want to tell you my small story about a small tool I wrote where I felt like this guy on the couch and I needed some medicine. I wrote once a tool of a CSV output, so export input. Yeah, you could, the data out of the CMS, you could export in a CSV file, and if you want to load the CMS, you could just import data from a CSV file into the CMS. It worked, I would say okay, but the problem was because there were so many different combinations, how you could structure the file, what could go wrong, and it was just so hard to test. There were a lot of edge cases, which bits of the CSS file must be encoded, which one not, where you can put JSON data in, where you put just normal data in, what kind of inverted comma do you use in the CSV file, and so on. Just a nightmare to test. And what happened is, I was like that when I had to, oops, yeah, you see the guy, doesn't matter, it's not just, the video doesn't matter. So I got afraid about refactoring, because this if statement, I would really like to change it. I need to adjust it for my new thing to fix that bug. But why did I write it exactly that way? What other edge case did I cover with exactly this if statement? Or this function that is really ugly and really rubbish and actually it's crap, I need to refactor it. But I'm afraid, I'm really afraid if I refactor it, will all the other functionalities work? Will my other 100 customers still be happy with my function? But I need to fix it to this. Yeah? So I got really afraid. And not only afraid of refactoring, what is about implementing new features? I got afraid about implementing new features. Because there's so much to test. Can be so much go wrong. And I was just only developer, and it was just a small tool. Yeah? And you know what happens if you don't implement and don't give more features to the customers? Yeah, your sales goes down, or what I actually did, I must confess, I would release that thing and call it beta and give it to the customer and let him test. Yeah, don't do that. Otherwise your sales might look like that. It really doesn't go well. Yeah? So, and fixing just a bug, do you know that that situation where you just want to fix this bug just before you go home or just before you go to bed? I wouldn't do that, because I know if I fix this bug, actually I have hours and hours of testing in front of me, but I need to go to bed. I really need to go to bed. So I wouldn't fix just a bug. I would postpone it, or maybe tomorrow, but tomorrow you never have time. And then there may be tomorrow. So that was the result of that. But frustrating manual testing is not how developers' time should be, and long QA phases is not how a life of a product should be, and waiting for a long time for a feature or a bug release is not how the life of a customer should be. So, we want to be, actually what we want is to be agile, isn't it? Everybody talks about being agile. We want to move fast, we want to break things, we want to fix them fast, we want to release early, we want to release often, yeah? We want to work in a team, collaborate, refactoring all the time, optimizing. We just want to, we want to develop our product fast and want to grow and want to go ahead. We wanted that the customer gets the feature quickly, and for all that we need fast release cycles. And actually, we need to be faster than our competitors. If you have a great feature, but it takes you just a year to release it, and your competitor is done in a month's time, bad luck. So, to achieve that, we need quick release cycles to be able to push the features quickly to the customer, to be faster than the competitors. And then we cannot afford long manual testing times. You cannot afford long QA times. We have to do it very frequently. We will never, I would say, be able, and depending on the project, but probably in a big project you will never be able to go without manual testing. So if you specialize on manual testing, don't worry, it will always be useful. But you cannot test every combination of a product manually. What did Matthew say? 5 browsers? And not only 5 browsers, you might have 4 databases on 3 operating systems. And you have a mobile device also should work. It's just impossible to cover it all manually. So I show you how your testing time, how your QA phase of your product should be. Can you please play that video? That should be your QA phase of your product. Doesn't seem to be too stressful. So now you're finished, you can push to the customer. You're done. And I give you now 7 steps how to achieve this stage. First step, automate your testing. Second time, boil water and milk, if you have from a bicy. Yeah. Then add chia patti to that mixture. Yeah. Add enough sugar so that it causes diabetes. Yeah. If you're over 40, you're supposed to have diabetes. Then you stir that long time, yeah? And then you pour that mixture, yeah? Use a strainer, otherwise you get all this chia patti in your cup, yeah? And drink and enjoy your developer's life, okay? I'm gonna talk briefly about that first point, and for the other points you can ask Ashish. He is our Chief Chiya Officer, our CCO. He's gonna give you some insights about how to do that. So, but now somebody might say, yes, my hello, back. Sorry, go one step back. Can I go here one back? Stop. Sorry. To automate your testing is super important to be agile. If you don't automate your testing, actually you have no chance to be agile. You cannot have quick release cycles. You cannot collaborate properly. You cannot push your hot fixes into production. But if you have a proper automated system that tests your your system, you kind of have superhero powers. Really, because you see crap code, you refactor it, yeah, without being worried. You just refactor it, and you run your tests. If they're green, all good. If they're red, you better fix them. But you don't have to sit there and think, did I cover every edge case? Your automated test gonna cover the edge cases. If you have a proper test coverage, your customer finds a bug or reports a bug, you make a hotfix, you run the test, you're gonna push it to the customer the same day or the same week, whatever. Yeah, but it doesn't take you half a year to push a new feature to a customer. If you want to know that your new Shiny application works also on database Y in combination with browser X, you run the tests. You drink chiya. If they are green, you tell the customer, no problem. You can install Oracle, whatever. Yeah, whatever I've just tested. And you tell the customer, I have tested that. I know, and I'm sure it will work. But some people, you might come home and your CEO or manager, or maybe here are managers and CEOs, might say, nah, this is not good. Yeah, they might panic actually now because they say, my developer's gonna come home to the office on Monday and they're gonna tell me that they have to write tests. And they're gonna panic because if you write tests, they're not gonna have enough time. Yeah, it's gonna cost you money. You have to pay the developer still when they're writing tests. Ask them what it would cost not to write tests. Okay, so this is one example. Can you play that video, please? A new shiny rocket was built by the European Space Agency. Oh, sorry, I forgot that we don't have sound. Doesn't matter. He counts it down in French. 4, 10, 2, 0. Right? So a new rocket, Ariane 5, just the first launch of that rocket, faster, bigger, greater than the new one. You develop your new feature. This is launch day. You're launching your new feature. Yeah, it takes off. Very good. Yeah, flies well. You're at a launch party with your customer, drinking chiya and whatever you do in a launch party. Yeah, accelerates faster and faster. Oh. That was your crash. Yeah? So what happened? They made this new rocket, and they took partly of the software of Ariane 4, the previous rocket. But guess what? Ariane 5 was bigger, was faster, had more acceleration, and there was a 64-bit, yeah, a bit pani pario, ki rocket pario. How do you say that? Yeah, it's good. So for the people around you and your competitors standing there at the beach and looking at your launch day, much fun for them. Yeah. So they took that software from the old rocket, and there was a 64-bit floating point that had to be converted for the old system in a 16-bit integer. And because of the high acceleration in the bigger rocket, it just got an overflowed, and then the computer decided to shut down and had an apparent error, probably didn't throw a proper exception. And so if your CEO asks you how much would it cost to make proper testing, they had a development cost of $7 billion, developed this rocket. And they had a cargo cost, the payload of that rocket was $500 million. Right? A simple bug just destroyed it all. Huh? So, what does it cost you not to have proper tests? And if you're a Scrum Master or a team leader, you might now think, the developer's gonna come home and wanna write tests, but then that's gonna slow our development down, then we're not gonna be able to build our new shiny feature that fast. So, by the way, yeah, that's how you might look at the launch day if you don't have enough tests. Or tell us your manager will look like that. That might scare him enough. Okay, so I would argue, how much would it slow you down if you don't have enough tests? If you don't have enough test coverage, long term, how much does it slow you down to find bugs, to fix them, and to make a new release cycle? This US-American warship, on 21st September 97, a crew member entered in the database as 0. Yeah? And some other algorithm in that software decided to divide by that value. And division by 0 is generally relatively hard, so the computer just gave up. Yeah? Shut down the whole system. That ship was, I don't know how they programmed that software, but that ship was completely unmanageable. It would not move, it would not steer. They had to bring another ship to pull it out. So, not testing gonna slow you down. And testing with values like 0, that's the first thing you really should do. And if you're a developer, and I guess most people here are developers, what do you actually think about testing and writing tests? Be honest. Boring, not really cool, and it's not really programming, hey? It's not really geeky, yeah? Yeah, but I would like to ask you, why did you become a programmer? Well, just a couple of guesses. You like to solve problem solving? Yes? Yeah? Clap? Very good. You like to invent algorithms? Yeah? You like to write code? Good. Okay. Think of programming tests as what it is. It's programming. Yeah? There are developers that specialize in WebGL and do games online. Cool. There are developers who do some systems that I don't understand with big diagrams and hundreds, yeah, services, yeah. Some do chat systems, some do databases. Making tests is nothing else. It's just a specialization of programming. Yeah, you might go and program a warship or a car ABS system, or you write tests. Huh? At the end of the day, you're inventing algorithms. You solve problems. You do what's actually fun. At least I think that's fun. My wife doesn't understand that why. Writing code is interesting. Yeah, but try to understand making tests as what it is. It is just programming, and you love programming, so just have fun and do programming. So, if you're a developer, I would suggest you, if you want to have more time for chiya drinking, invest time in write automated tests. And it is hard, like we heard from Matthew. It is hard. Everything is hard at the beginning. But long term, it's going to make your life much easier and much more enjoyable. And if you're a leader or a scrum master, do not accept any change without test coverage. Don't. Never, never. Your software will have much better quality. And if you're a CEO, if you're a product owner or a manager or something like that, give the team time and the ability and encourage the team to write tests. It might take time and it might cost you a little bit money now, but it's gonna make you and your customer much happier in long term. In that sense, happy copying.